This is a rich and atmospheric narrative passage with excellent character dynamics and world building. The user has provided a compelling scene setup focusing on Anna Sharma's arrival at a harsh military proving ground and her tense first encounter with Sergeant Thorne. The key elements to note are the stark contrast between Anna's silent competence and the operator's brash arrogance, the symbolic use of cold and silence, and the underlying tension about her mysterious role. The text ends at a natural transition point where Anna enters the command center to meet Colonel Madsen. Since the user shared this as a follow-up to the previous Katana script request, they might be looking for either a continuation of the story or analysis of the writing. Given the narrative's unfinished nature, they likely want to see where the scene leads. The response should continue the story organically, maintaining the established tone and characterization while advancing the plot toward Anna's purpose at the facility. The Colonel's relief at seeing her suggests she's an important asset, which should be revealed gradually through their dialogue. The heavy, rubber-edged door hissed shut behind Anna, sealing out the scream of the wind. The sudden silence in the command center was profound, broken only by the electronic hum. The sterile, fluorescent light was a shock after the bruised twilight outside. Colonel Madsen didn't offer a hand. Their relationship had never been one for formalities. He gave a short, almost imperceptible nod. Sharma. The flight was on time. I'm surprised. Efficiency is the one predictable thing about this place, Colonel, Anna replied, her voice still carrying the calm from outside, though the edge of cold had left it. She set her duffel down without a sound. It reliably grinds things down. A ghost of a smile touched Madsen's lips. It does. And it's about to start grinding on my best and brightest. Or so they think they are. He turned back to the monitors, his finger tapping one showing the group of candidates, now doing calisthenics in the yard. Thorne was leading, his movements powerful, exaggerated. You saw the welcoming committee. I was observed by Sergeant Thorne and his associates, Anna corrected softly, stepping to stand beside Madsen, her eyes scanning the biometric feeds. Heart rates, core temperatures, stress indicators. Thorne's vitals were a steady, confident green. He inquired about my kill count. Madsen snorted, a dry, humorless sound. Of course he did. It's the only currency he understands. Bullets fired, enemies tagged. He's a hammer, and every problem looks like a nail he gets points for hitting. He looked at her profile, her expression unreadable as she studied the data. He's also the top performer on paper. Natural leader, physically peerless, tactically sound in conventional terms. And his flaw, Anna asked, though her tone suggested she already knew. The same as his strength, Madsen sighed. He believes the score is all that matters. He sees war as a series of discrete, solvable problems. He doesn't understand the silence between the shots. The one you just showed him. Anna finally turned her head from the screens to meet the Colonel's weary gaze. You didn't bring me here to evaluate physical prowess, Colonel. You have trainers for that. You brought me here to find the one who understands the silence. The one who can endure it, listen to it, and wield it. Madsen nodded, his face grave. This selection isn't for another frontline unit. We have plenty of thorns. We need something else. An operator for the gray spaces. The long, quiet shadows where the rules of engagement are written in whispers and a kill count is a meaningless, dangerous fantasy. He gestured to the door, to the world of rock and wind. This environment isn't just to test their bodies. It's to isolate them, to strip away the noise of their egos and the army's constant validation. Out here, the silence becomes a physical pressure. Most break. They start talking to themselves, they get irritable, they seek conflict just to hear a sound other than the wind. They prove they need the scoreboard. And my role Anna knew, but protocol required he stated. You are the silence, Sharma. You are the unmeasured variable. You will observe them during the evaluations, during the rest periods, in their moments of stress and exhaustion. You will not instruct. You will not interfere. You will simply be. And you will tell me which of them, when pushed to the brink, doesn't try to fill the quiet with bravado or anger, but becomes a part of it. Which of them can hold a gaze like you did out there and understand that the most powerful statement is often the one never made? He paused, his pale eyes intense. Thorn will see you as a puzzle he can't solve, a target he can't hit. He will likely fixate on you, try to provoke you into giving him a number, a rank, a category. His reaction to an unsolvable problem will be more telling than any obstacle course time. Anna looked back at the monitor. Thorn was now laughing, clapping one of his men on the shoulder, the image of confident vitality. A hammer. Understood, Colonel, she said, her voice a low murmur in the humming room. I will begin the evaluation. Not of their strength, but of their relationship with the quiet. She picked up her duffel. It seemed heavier now, not with gear, but with the weight of the task. She was to be the mirror in which these men would see not their reflected glory, but the empty, howling space around it. Where do I bunk? She asked. Madsen pointed to a schematic on another screen. Sector 7. Isolated quarters. You're not part of their world. You're adjacent to it. A ghost in the machine. A faint, genuine smile finally touched Anna's lips, there and gone in an instant. A ghost is just a memory the silence hasn't forgotten yet, Colonel. She turned and walked back to the heavy door. As it hissed open, the roar of the wind rushed back in, a wall of sound and cold. She didn't flinch. She stepped through it, not into an arena, but into an instrument of her own design. The first test had already begun, and Sergeant Rex Thorn, pumping iron and counting his imagined points, had already, unknowingly, begun to fail. The user has provided a continuation of the military thriller narrative, deepening the conflict between Anna Sharma and Sergeant Thorn during a high-stakes mountain navigation exercise. The core tension revolves around Thorn's reckless defiance of orders versus Anna's disciplined observation. The scene is rich with atmospheric details: the brutal mountain environment, the psychological warfare in the mess hall, and the tactical briefing room confrontation. The user seems to want the story to progress while maintaining the established tone of cold, professional tension. I should continue the narrative by focusing on the immediate aftermath of Thorn's challenge, showing how Anna's silent authority clashes with his aggressive bravado. The response should mirror the story's style, spare prose, atmospheric descriptions, and layered character dynamics. Key elements to include: Thorn's team reacting to his decision, Anna's observational detachment, the growing danger of the mountains, and Davis's quiet divergence from the group. The response should end with a cliffhanger that sets up the coming crisis, perhaps the first signs of the avalanche. Thorn dismissed. A tense silence filled the briefing room. The lieutenant, caught between Thorn's intimidating confidence and the black and white letter of his orders, flushed slightly. Anna's response had been a masterstroke. It upheld the chain of command without engaging Thorn's challenge directly, and it placed the responsibility squarely back on the young officer. Sergeant Thorn, the lieutenant said, his voice firmer now, bolstered by Anna's implicit support. The route is not a suggestion. It is the mission parameters. Your objective is to navigate to the extraction point using corridor green 7, demonstrating disciplined adherence to a plan under stress. This is not a race. Dismissed. Thorne's jaw tightened. He snapped a crisp, sarcastic salute. Sir. He turned on his heel, his team falling in behind him. As he passed Anna, he didn't look at her, but his voice was a low, venomous growl meant only for her ears. Enjoy the scenic route, Ghost. The team moved out into the pre-dawn gloom, their figures swallowed by the swirling snow. Anna followed at a distance, a silent shadow in high-grade white and gray Arctic camouflage. She was equipped not with a heavy pack, but with a lean kit designed for observation and survival, sensors, a compact drone, rations, and her sidearm. Her role was to witness, not to interfere. The first few hours were a study in controlled aggression. Thorne set a punishing pace, pushing his team hard up the initial slopes of Green 7. He was technically following orders, but his manner was one of furious compliance. He radioed in checkpoints with terse, barely respectful brevity. His team mirrored his mood, a ball of suppressed frustration moving through the landscape. Anna watched through her monocular. She saw Corporal Davis, the quieter one, frequently check the sky, study the snowpack with more care than the others. Once, he pointed to a distant ridge where wind was whipping up a conspicuous plume of snow, a sign of unstable slab formation. Thorne brushed him off. It's miles away, Davis. Keep your eyes on the trail. By midday, the promised high-pressure system seemed a distant myth. The weather deteriorated. The wind picked up, scouring the rock with needle-sharp ice crystals. Visibility dropped to 100 meters, then 50. Thorne called a halt in the lee of a massive boulder. His team huddled, sucking down calories. Anna observed from a higher perch, a motionless part of the rockscape. This is a joke, Thorne's voice cracked.